Hello there and good afternoon. Welcome to this Dynamicweb webinar about email marketing. This is a recap from the Dynamicweb Tech Conference in March, where I held this track about the email marketing. Just briefly about myself, let me introduce myself. My name is Asger. I am working with a Dynamicweb premium solution partner called Display. I've been working with Ecommerce for the last 10 years, including 2 years as a product manager of Dynamicweb. So I hope most of you know me already. And why I'm talking about email marketing is because that was one of the products that I brought to life when working with Dynamicweb. Briefly about Display, just so you know what we're working with today, is we have 3 competences. Overall, it's strategy, it's creativity, and technology. And we work with a lot of different platforms, including Dynamicweb, and we still really love the all-in-one perspective that the Dynamicweb brings to the market. So that is why we work with especially email marketing inside the Dynamicweb platform. The agenda for this webinar is really short. It's 4 bullets. I would like to talk about why we have email in the all-in-one platform and why I think it's great. I will show you how to create simple newsletters with the functionality inside the platform. I will talk about personalized emails inside the platform, and finally talk briefly about automation with the Dynamicweb email marketing. So let's start about why we have email marketing inside Dynamicweb. As I said just before, I'm working with quite a lot of different systems, some of them offering several capabilities inside one platform, and some of them are best of breed platforms. And what I see in the market is that people are really asking for a solution who can do all the things for them in terms of digital presence. If they have not one platform for it all, it could be an architecture just like this, where you have your back office systems like ERP, CRM, product information management, and DAM, etc., or just some of them. And you have 3 digital platforms like email, content management, and e-commerce. And from those platforms, you will have to publish to several different channels. Some of you have all the channels, and some have only a few of them. But what we get with an all-in-one platform like Dynamicweb is that we combine the web content management, we combine e-commerce and marketing inside one platform, and we can benefit from not just having a single source of publishing, but also have a single place to store our data on what people are doing on this. So switching to the Dynamicweb drawing of this, it's the all-in-one business platform. You have the content, the e-commerce, and the marketing. You can benefit from reusing your content in your email communication, and you can benefit from having your products in one single place. Benefit from having integrations with the ERP system, so if price changing during the day, the next time you send out your newsletter with the product in it, it will be updated automatically from the ERP to the e-commerce and throughout to the email. So there's a lot of good reasons in terms of publishing, and the other way around, as I just mentioned. It's also really important to store your data in one single place. Not that it's impossible to use your data if you integrate them, but it's really simple to have them just one single place, so you know what people are doing, what they're viewing on the emails, who opens the emails, who buys from the emails, and so on and so forth. So let's switch to the newsletter area of this webinar. Just a simple newsletter. You need to know something about sign up, you need to know something about creating content, and you need to know something about creating the email itself. The sign up, as I guess you're all familiar with the Dynamicweb and the terms users, I can simply just say that recipients who signs up are simply users inside Dynamicweb. So what we're doing when a person signs up is that we create a user with the attribute email allowed or email permission, and this user will be able to receive newsletters from you. So what some of you might know is that from the old newsletter versions, you had these lists or user groups, and a user can belong to one or more lists in terms of which things they were interested in. But what has been introduced with the email marketing is that you can also work with attributes. So you can do searching on attributes and find your users on them. And why I'm mentioning is that it's important to know in terms of integration. It's fairly simple to integrate attributes into the user management instead of adding users to different lists. So that might be a benefit for you. And what you simply do is that you create an extranet internet instance on your solution, and you add it to a page, and you let users sign up throughout this module. And just remember that in the template you'll need the email allowed functionality set. I will just show you. So let's switch to this one. So let's go to a page in here. I have created this sign up page. I'm just using the wrap demo. Let's use this this page where I can sign up. I will show you in a minute how to do it. I have the page in here in the backend. I will go to the page, and what I've done is that I have simply just added this module, the extranet internet module. I have used the template. I will show that in a moment, and I have added the new users to the group newsletter signups. And what I just mentioned is that it's really important for you to, if I get this displayed, is that you need this checkbox. If you show it or not, I don't care. In this case, it's not shown, but you need this one, email allowed, to be true in order to get the user with the permission inside your database. So let's just go here and say like this, DVTC recap, and let's just generate the password and create the user and ask the system to create a new user. And inside the backend, you can now see in the newsletter signups that I have my DV Tech Conference recap user in here. So fairly simple. And what you can see down here is that I have the user with the email address, and I have an email permission in here. This is needed in order to be able to send out emails to these people who signs up for you. So let's go back to the keynote. Now we get to the point of creating content. And inside Dynamicweb, which is really great for editors, you don't need to know how to create content for pages and for emails. You just create a page that you will send out as an email. And this is fairly simple for the editors, but it's also really usable for editors, because they can use the content that they have already created, or they can use modules like the e-commerce system in order to send out products, etc. So you simply create a page, and of course you need another template, because now it's not a web browser who sees it, it's an email client. And you can use pages, just simple pages as you know them, or you can create items. So if you have a certain format for your emails, you can just create an item which will give you these input fields as you need for your email. And I just mentioned the templates. Remember, they can be quite tricky to be displayed right in all the different kind of mail systems. So test your templates, or download some of the templates that are already tested around the world. Let's go to the demo again. And now I will create some content, or I will show you where I have created content. I will go to the folder emails in here. I have created some content for a newsletter. I've just used a standard page, and I have just written some content in here. It's a simple heading here. I use the notation email username here for the system to replace this with the user's name. So I will, in this case, write Dear Asker, or just Asker, our newsletter is ready for you. As some of you might notice, I have these email values enabled here, so I can just insert all these fields into the editor. This is possible to enable inside the management system under the editor. As you can see as well, I have some items here where I just add some text, and I have some different settings on this item, and I have created a lot of different items in here. I have just excluded some of them. I will get back to those later. And now you can see in the marketing, I can see the email preview functionality here, and I can see how this email looks. Fairly simple. So this is how you create your content, and of course you can add e-commerce products, etc. here. This is how you create your content in the email marketing functionality in Dynamicweb. Okay, so now to the basic newsletter create the email item. What you need to create the email is some basic informations. You need to select recipients, you need to select the content that we've just created, and you need to send it. And we have some other functionalities. So now I will go back to the solution again, and I will show you how to do this. Inside marketing area of Dynamicweb, we have the email marketing. We have some different folders. We have all emails, and I've created 2 folders in this case. I've created some automations, and I have created just simple newsletters. What you can see in here is that I have draft, schedule, split test, and send newsletters. And I will just start by edit this top folder in order for you to see what can be edited in here. Of course, the folder name, and I can set up some different values in here, like the from name, the from email, that all emails created inside this this folder will inherit these informations as standard, so you don't need to fill them out every time. I also have some information about content, render content for each recipient. I will get back to this one later on in terms of personalization. We have some information about unsubscribe. We have some information about engagement index, tracking provider, delivery provider, recipient provider, etc. So all these informations from the top folder will be inherited in every email that I create underneath this top folder. So right now I will create a new email. I will just call it temp because I will change the name in just a second. So right now I have an email object in here. And the subject is right now just temp, but I would like to write dear, and I would like to insert the name of the user. Really catchy subject. So now I have a subject for this email. I also need to select the recipients, as I just told you. You can select simple, just single users at the time. You can still use, as you know from the previously versions of the Dynamicweb email modules, you can add groups, or you can use smart searches to find your recipients. Smart searches is a way to select users. It's also possible to do this in products, for just to mention it. It's a way to select users with the different criteria. So let's just see this this one called segment male. I have just selected a simple selection down to the user management, finding all with the gender. This is a custom field, by the way, where the gender is male. So just a single rule to find all males down my database. And we can create more advanced stuff. I will show you that later on. Right now I will just select my one single user that I've just created, this one, and you can see that I have the permission. If I did not have the permission on this user, this count would be 0. I can get a list of recipients, I can change the from name, change the email, I can add a pre-header to the solution as well, or to this email. Just remember to show it in the template. And finally, I need to select the content that I have just created, and I will select that from in here, this newsletter, and basically I'm good to go right now. But I can also change some more advanced stuff in here. I can go to the advanced setting, the advanced tab here. I can add attachments, I can change the encoding. I can even save this setup as a template, an email template. So when I create a new email, I will be able to select from one of the previously saved templates and get all the information that I have created there. I can change what happens when a user unsubscribes, change the text, I can change the redirect after the unsubscription. I can change some content settings in here. This was the render content for each recipient, which is quite important. I can add plain text as well if the user haven't got any HTML render for the email. I can ensure unique recipients. This is also quite important to know that this is by default set to ensure unique recipients. So if a user is in the list several times, this email won't be sent out to the user more than once. If you untick this one, the user will be able to get this email. If you send it twice to the same list, it will be possible for the user to get it twice, which can be useful in some cases. We also have an engagement index here. This is where you can do some more sophisticated measuring on your email. So what you can do in here is that you can add points for every user action in here. You can say that opening the email will give the user 5 points. Adding products to the cart will give them 20. Place an order will give them 0, which is the same as the amount of the order. It could also be just giving you 50 points. Signing onto an email, so if the user forwards this email to another one who signs on to the email afterwards, it will give you 15 points. Unsubscribing will give you -20, and so on and so forth. And if I had saved this email, I guess I would also be able to see that every single link inside the email is represented in here. So I can say that if you click on products, you will be given 10 points. If you just click our gallery, it's not worth more than 2 points, and so on and so forth. So you have the possibility to create values on each link in here in order to measure how much value this email has generated for you. Quite good to work with. Finally, we have some recipient provider and delivery provider. It's like that in Dynamicweb that the recipients right now show them from the user management. But if you have recipients from other systems, it's possible to create your own recipient provider in order to get these recipients from directly from other databases or where you have these. So you can add your own recipients provider. But Dynamicweb comes out of the box with 3 recipient providers. One of them is the Dynamicweb users, as we use it right now. The other one is abandoned cart recipients, which is an SQL statement that we throw to the databases in order to get people who have an abandoned cart. I will show it later. And we also have one called unresponsive recipients. I will also get back to that later on. In here, you can also choose what happens whenever a recipient unsubscribes to this email. You can remove the email permission. That will be obviously if you get recipients from the user database, and you can also remove them from lists in here. And if you had custom fields, checkbox custom fields, you will also be able to uncheck these custom fields from this provider. We have the delivery provider as well. This is the Dynamicweb send provider, and this is the only one that I have configured in here. The delivery provider is where you deliver the emails. The Dynamicweb just generates the emails and will lead these emails to this provider. And the delivery provider will, in this case, just let the mail setup on the Dynamicweb platform handle the emails to send them out. But if you need some more security in your mail delivery, you'll be able to sign up with SendGrid or Mandrill, which are two other providers where you can sign up and let them handle the sending of your emails, which gives you some benefits. So you have different possibilities in terms of delivery providers as well. And finally, you have some validate email addresses where if you have a large list in here, you have the possibility to get a list of unvalid emails. I have just one and I know it's valid because it's mine. So I won't press this, but it will check all the emails and give you a list of the people who haven't got a valid email, and you can remove them from the list or change the email if you can see a mistake in the spelling and so on. So these were the advanced configurations on the email. Finally, you can edit content, you can preview the email, or you can send it right away or schedule it to later. And I just have one thing left I would like to show you. This is the create split test. This enables you to send out a split test where you change something like the subject. I will just change this, or you can change the pre-header or the page. So now you can set up the split test, say that I would like 10% of my recipients to get the split test. So in this case, 5% will get the original and 5% will get the variation. I will set up that the conversion goal should be the best engagement in order to the engagement index that I have set up. Change it to most open, most clicked. I can start it right now, schedule it, and I can pick the winner automatically, or I can pick it manually after a certain amount of time. And I can also notify a list of people when the split test have been stopped, or when the winner have been picked. So this is really useful, really simple, and really useful in order to test especially the subject line, which is rather important to do right in order to get the most people to open your emails. So right now I have a simple newsletter created. I have the possibility to send it out, and after that, yes, I would like to send it out. And after sending it out, I have the possibility to click it, and in here I will get some statistics on opening rate and opening on different devices and unique clicks and total clicks and different links, and I can see the recipients and so on and so forth. Just a rather smooth thing in here is that if I click a link, I will get a list of the recipients who have clicked just this link. This is, of course, not interesting for you if you have 100,000 recipients. You don't drill down all these information, but you have all the information accessible in the database, so you can make smart searches and find people who have clicked this exact link and so on. So rather smart tool in here. And the other way around, I can click a single user and I can get that, okay, Asger here's got 2 emails and you haven't clicked a single time, and so on. So we have all these informations inside the database, which is rather important without any integrations. Cool. So let's go back to the PowerPoint, and this was the basic newsletters, how you create it, how you create users, let them sign up on your system, create the content, and create the email itself. So let's go to the personalized emails, and this is a quite short thing because I've told you twice that you have an option called render content for each recipient, and this is, I guess, the single most used checkbox in the support in order to get people to make this work. Because when you need to do not talking about personalization in terms of writing Dear Asger in the subject or something like that, when you need to do real personalization inside the email, this checkbox should be marked. So I showed you that it was possible to set in the top folder, and you can say that this is the checkbox. Of course, it's if I show it on this one, which is automated and personalized emails all the time, this is checked, but you could also do it on the single email. What this means is that if you send out an email and this is not checked, the system will generate the email, the content of the email once, and it will just make a search and replace on all the tags, and it will send out the emails with just the search and replace with the names and so on. If you take this one, the email will, for each recipient in the database that this email should go out to, it will generate the content in the context of this user. And this is quite useful when you need to do personalized content, as I will show you in a moment, if you need to send out vouchers or abandon carts and so on. So this is really, really important to remember. You will also get warned if you have a page with personalization on and you create the email. There will be just a yellow bar with which notifies you that you have some content which is personalized, and you need to remember to set this. Okay, so going to the final thing in this session, it's the email automation. Email automation could be really a lot of different things. Oh, sorry, I just forgot to show you a really important thing on the personalization, because I just totally forgot to show you personalized content in the email. I will just show you now. As I told you when I created the content for this this email, was that I had some paragraphs in here, some items in here. Some of you might have read this. Want to join one of our events? This is just a general event call to action inside the email, but I could also personalize it, saying that I have something called bikes, babes, and beers. This is probably for the males, for the men who opens this email, and for the women, I have created some content called Women's Night Out. Get to know your bike. So I have right now 3 different call to action buttons inside my email. And if I do like this, it will just render, and of course it won't work right now. So I will just use this one, show the page, and I hope it will be there. No, none of it. And that wasn't purpose. So just reload this and log in again. And I will go to the email, and this is probably because it remembers something from my personalization from practicing this. But right now I have enabled all these areas, all these items, and what I can do in here is that in the marketing I have this email personalization, and this is why it won't work. Right now it should work. Now we're hoping. Email preview, and now you can see that I have 3 call to action bars in here, and of course I only want one of them to be shown for my different users. So what I do right now is that I click the email personalization, and as you can see in here, I have default all people should see all the things, but that should be changed, and that was what it remembered from yesterday evening. So right now everyone will just see that this will be shown for them, want to join one of our events. Now I can add a segment. And this is where the smart search come in handy, because right now I have created my my different segments, and you can say that okay, all females, they should see the text, the column 1, not that one, but the Women's Night Out and the 2 last one. And I can also add a segment called male, and it should be like, not that one, sorry, this one, and like this. So right now I have a personalized email, and if I click the email preview, I will be able to see that right now this is for everyone to see, but if I change so I will be in the female segment, I will get the Women's Night Out, and changing it again to the male segment, you will see the bikes, babes, and beers boys night out. So a simple way of personalizing your email, and of course you can do this more sophisticated with smart searches, drill down on people who have bought for a huge amount in your shop, or people who haven't bought yet, or people who have clicked an email, and so on and so forth. So you have the possibility to do personalization directly into the content of the email, and this is quite smart and also possible for the editors to work with. Really simple. So now I am where I would like to be just before, in the email automation part of this session. I would like to show you 3 ways of automate emails. I will show you a really simple one, just resend an email. I will show you how to set up sign up vouchers, so you get a voucher whenever you sign up for the email newsletters, and finally the abandoned carts. And these 3 things are really simple to do inside Dynamicweb, and this is where the all-in-one really comes in handy, because you get so much information and so much power inside your solution. The first one is resend emails. So of course, you know, not all people open all your emails. And some people like this and some people really don't like this, but why not push it just a bit more? So if people don't open your email right away, you might want to try to send out the same email again to the people who haven't opened it the first time. So this is a chart that I did with one of my clients. So what we did was that we sent it out in the left upper corner. We sent out an email and we waited 3 days, and then we checked, did the people open the email? If they opened it, we checked, did they click anything? If they didn't click anything, they will get a reminder, and again we wait 2 days, we'll check if they opened it or if they clicked it, and we have these stop lists where we stop sending out information to them. So we have this diagram where you can see how the flow will be for people who get the email and people who opens it and clicks it. And this is really a good way to talk to your clients about how to use email marketing really powerful, because this is all possible to do out of the box in Dynamicweb. Let's just go to the marketing area again on here, and I will just go to an email, and I will go to one of the sent email right now. So I just briefly showed you before the recipient provider of Dynamicweb. There was one called unresponsive recipients, and that is basically the recipient provider that you would like to get. What Dynamicweb has done is that they have also added a right-click functionality in here where you can say resend to unresponsive recipients. So this email, it will be copied, and you will get all the same information as it was sent with the first time, and you can change the information that you like. Just the one thing that you can't change in here is that the to field here is the custom recipient provider unresponsive recipients. So this email will, at the time when it's set to send, it will find all the people who got the first email, or at least it was sent to, but who haven't opened that email. So this simple, you can say change the subject, and you can say, okay, I would like to schedule this for the day after tomorrow, and you can just press schedule, and this will be in the scheduled folder over here, like this, and it will be in the schedule folder, and it will be ready to go out the day after tomorrow. And you don't have to worry about people who have opened it tomorrow, for instance. They will not be in the list, because at the time where this email is sent, it will do the smart search. It will do a search down the user database for all the people who have received the first email but haven't opened it, and it will send this email to them. Really a simple thing, and if you remember it, it's a way to higher your opening rate on the email. So that was the first thing. The second thing, sign-up vouchers. This is used a lot, especially in the clothing industry, I guess. You would like more people to sign up to your newsletters, and you offer them a voucher or something like that to sign up. And this has also been asked on the forum, and it quite actually it took us 5 minutes to answer that forum post because it was so simple to do. So what I will show you now is that how we have set up as an automated flow to send out the voucher after a person has signed up for one of your newsletter lists. Inside the automation folder in here, I hopefully get some response here. I have 2 emails which are scheduled, and this is the one that I would like to work with. Thank you for signing up on. I will just edit the email so you can see what I've done in here. So what I have done in here is that I've just created a simple email. I will show you the content just afterwards. I've created a simple email, and I've used the smart search functionality to find people who have just signed up. So opening the smart search here, and you can see that I have used this one, new signups. I will just edit that to show you. So what I've done is that I have used one of the many features that you have inside the smart search. I didn't show you this before, but you have all the user information, you have the custom fields, you have the audit information, and this is where I will look for my email permission updated on. And you have some more behavior information, which without any integrations is available for you inside the solution. Behavior on website or behavior for email marketing, like received a specific email opened and so on and so forth. So all these information is available for you. I have chosen the email permission updated on is after. And this is, if I have to mention one thing that could be better, this is quite tricky if you don't know any coding, because you need to do some coding in order to make a dynamic value in here instead of just like you can see the line afterwards. Email permission is true because I only need these people. So what I've done here is that I have created a small bit of code. Add code, datetime.now, add minutes -5. So if you know coding, you will know that what I'm looking for right now is email permission updated in the last 5 minutes. There are documentation on all these code examples, so you can look for it in the documentation, but I know that this will be made more user-friendly in one of the next releases. So right now the smart search just looks for people with the email permission is true and where the permission is updated within the last 5 minutes. And then I have scheduled this to be sent out every 15 minutes, and it will send this email out to only the new people who have signed up. So the content, that is simple. An item saying thank you for signing up, we're so happy that you've signed up, blah 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 blah. And this is not that tricky, but in here I have added a voucher. So what I've done here is that I have used the module called context voucher renderer, and what this does is it takes a voucher list. I've created a voucher list with a discount on it on 10% or €10, I can't remember, doesn't make a difference. So I've just selected a voucher list, and I have added a template, and in the template it just generates the voucher. So you can see here, oh, it's €10. You can see that I will generate a voucher every time this page is generated. And of course this only works if you have the rendering for each recipient set up. So each recipient will get a unique voucher. So you will see that this voucher changes, and every time I reload the page, I will get a new voucher. And by the way, just remember, this page should not be able to access from any browser, because then you will just have a list of vouchers on for every people who know that URL. So this generates a voucher, and this is of course useful for campaigns like signing up campaigns and so on. So the final thing I would like to show you is abandoned cart emails. Dynamicweb have been talking a lot about this, and there are not that many have started using it, as far as I know, but it has become more often that people send out these emails, and the results are just brilliant. So the statistics says that 65% of all potential customers leave their cart without purchasing. So why not try to catch these people in simple ways, like sending out emails after they have abandoned their shopping carts? Of course, you need to know the people. You need to have a permission to send out emails to them, and you need to have their emails, of course. But why not try it out and try to set this up in the system? I have forgotten a demo slide here, so I'll just go to the demo. So what I have done inside the marketing area of Dynamicweb, inside the automation folder, I have created this scheduled email, and just like the resend functionality, I use a custom recipient provider, which is provided by Dynamicweb by default with any new solution. You get this this one called abandoned cart recipients. And if I press this one, you can see that I have some settings on this recipient provider. I will mark a cart abandoned after just 1 minute. I guess this is for testing purpose only, because of course people need to be able to browse around the shop for more than 1 minute. So more realistic, it's 2 or 3 hours, or even 24 hours if you like. But let's just say if they haven't changed their cart within 1 hour, we have the possibility to catch these users. We have also the possibility to catch cards which are older than 1 hour. This is primarily for the first time you send this out, because if you send it out and has set this to no limit, it will also catch 2 years old cards, for instance. You can select only cards from a given shop or on a given language, and you have some settings like require customers was logged in, because then they have accepted our terms, or require that they have accepted sales terms, or that they have been logged in or accepted sales terms. So we have some settings on this. So this will just this email will be scheduled, and I will send it out every 5 minutes. And every 5 minutes, it will look down the database, say, okay, people, the last 5 minutes, people who have abandoned their carts within the last hour, we will send out this email to them. So quite heavy stuff without doing that much inside Dynamicweb. And I will just show you an example on the abandoned cart email, because in here I have just a header again saying you can still make it, just try to catch them. And I have added a voucher, and if this works from yesterday, I have also set up personalization saying, okay, all people will get this, you can still make it, and they will get their card. I will get back to this one. And then I have added a segment called VIP users. So my VIP users is basically users who have bought for more than 1,000 within the last 3 months, I guess. But you can set up some criteria on this, or create your own segments, of course. And only those will get a voucher also for this card. So so you have the possibility to really use the functionalities inside the email marketing in order to get more customers. And if they are good customers, for instance, you can set up a voucher and send out with the card. The card itself is also a module that you should know about, context order renderer. This basically renders that card that has been found inside the database and render it in a way that you of course like it, because you can change the template, but it will render all the products just like the order confirmation email. It will render all the products and show them that you have left these 4 products, for instance, and then why not get back to the order, click it and get back to the card and complete the card. And for developers, there's a test mode, so you have you don't need to sit and create a lot of orders and wait for them to be sent out. So that was basically what I would like to tell you about today, and show you how to use Dynamicweb email marketing. You have seen I've been telling you about why emails should be in the all-in-one platform. I have shown you how to create simple newsletters, personalized emails, and finally how to do some automation inside Dynamicweb. And now I think I will mute myself, and I will try to answer questions. If you have some, I will be here for a couple of minutes. So just type ahead, and I will try to answer them as we go. And I will try to write you the answers. So thank you for your time, and hope you'll have a really great day.